Okay, so for this one, we're given this trinomial, and we want to find the binomial to what power that will give us this, right? So right off the bat, I'm looking at this, and I see that this needs to be to the power of 2. And you might ask, okay, well, how do you already know that? So the reason I know that is because basically, look at this. We see that the variables with the lowest power are 1/2 of the power of the biggest. So you see, this power, or rather, this power is twice as large as that one, and that tells me that this is squared. Why? Well, because if you imagine, if we're doing some, let's say, a plus b times a plus b, that's going to be what? A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. We see that we multiplied a by itself. Well, a times a once, so we get a to the power of 2. If we did, if we made this 3 times, then the first term would be a to the 3, and that would be a power 3 times larger than the lowest power. So basically, we know that whatever this was, it was multiplied by itself only once. So we know this is squared. Now, how do we actually figure out what it is? Well, we can actually use this formula right here that you've actually probably seen in Algebra 2. So if I can actually rewrite this as a plus or minus b squared is equal to a squared plus or minus 2ab plus b squared. So it works because, well, as I multiplied out here, that's what it would give you, and plus or minus, the plus or minus. So if this was a negative here, then this right here would also be minus. So great, how do we actually figure out, what goes here? So what we do is we look at this and we see that, okay, this first term is the square of whatever the first term in the binomial is. So that means that this thing is the square of whatever this should be. So how do we find it? Well, let's just take the square root. Let's take the square root of 9a to the 4. What does that give us? Well, it gives us square root of 9, so 3 times square root of a to the 4, which is a squared, because again, right, a squared times a squared would give us a to the 4. So this is our first term in our binomial here, 3a squared. Let's figure out the second one. Again, looking back at this formula, I see that the very last term is the second term of the binomial squared. So again, what does that tell us? That tells us that this is the square of whatever should go here. So how do we find what should go to here? Let's take the square root of that. Square root of 4b to the 4 equals square root of 4 is 2 times square root of b to the 4, b squared. So this is 2b squared. And that right there is your answer. And that is answer choice, what is that? A.